A very good morning to you, our cherished viewers. You are live on Fire Service TV, and the program is Safety Matters. We come your way every Tuesday to update your mind and sensitize you on your safety. Safety in all shapes and forms. And we are very happy that you are able to join us today. Today will not be any different from the past weeks, except that we'll be every day. However, before we continue to the new things we are about to do today, let's have a recap of what we did last week. In case you couldn't join us, you have this benefit. So last week we've been trying to do signs and symbols as they appear on our fire engineering drawing and the fire certificate. We got to know that signs are for fire buildings, how they appear on buildings or inside buildings when you enter, and then the symbols are for fire engineering drawings. So there may not be any need for you as somebody who is not an expert to worry yourself too much about the symbols. However, for the signs, it is out there for you to be able to appreciate and understand what actions to take in times of emergency. We have also been learning about emergency exits, emergency directional signs, and all of that. And if you've been part of this show since last week, then you are lucky. This week, we want to continue along the same line, but we want to take it a notch further, where we want to do emergency lighting. Yes, that is what we're going to do today. Emergency lighting, what does it mean? And what does it mean to you? So to help us do the discussion today, a very, very knowledgeable and important guest whom I'll introduce to you after this short commercial break. I want to announce that
I came across power safety technology. So I introduced that into our residents who are more. Over the period, they have testified how power safety technology, when the need arises.
Safety is our hallmark.
welcome back, our viewers, our cherished viewers, of course. The program is Safety Matters, and you are live on Fire Service TV. We want to say that this program is beaming live on all our social media platforms. So if you are not by your TV right now, you can join us on all our social media platforms at GNFS Official. We will be welcoming your comments, your questions, and what have you. We have what it takes to reach you wherever you are. Thank you very much for joining us. I'm ADO1, Joanne Ajay. And to help me do the discussion today, we have our regular guest, very, very knowledgeable personality in the person of Deputy Chief Officer Retired, Kwame Kwarteng. You are welcome, sir.
Thank you.
And we are grateful for joining us today as well. Thank you very
grateful.
much for all you do for us. We
Thank
are
you.
grateful. Next to Deputy, we have DO1, Sam Afo. He is the Deputy Director for Investigations. He's also one of our very, very regular guests, and he brings us new things all the time. Sir, you're welcome.
Thank you.
We couldn't. I'm very
right.
Appreciate you make time for us, travel, and us granted at all. Grateful. So, we've been talking about signs and symbols as they appear on our fire engineering drawings, and also signs as they appear in the buildings for our viewers to see and act upon them. It's a very vast topic, and last week we promised our viewers that we'll come back with the continuation of that. Say, what is an emergency lighting as seen on a fire engineering drawing and also as seen in a building?
All right, thank you, and good morning to our viewers. I think last week I explained that fire safety itself in totality is for third-party liabilities. Third-party liabilities means that anybody who comes into your premises for any activity, you owe the person a duty of care. So if the person should get wounded or get affected by something as a result of fire, you, the property owner, could be sued. So all that we do about the signage and the symbols, as you explained, are meant to help the third party to get out of the building. Now, you have a building which is constructed, and when lights go off, the person in the building cannot see his or her way out of the building. And maybe it's so you in the can see. For instance, the moment there's light off in your own home, if it's a story building, and you are not careful, even to step the stairs that you're using to climb or get down, you might even trip off. So you must make sure that you have an emergency light, and even your own home within the landing area of your stairs. So when the lights go off, you can see your way out of the building. As you asked, it might sound very simple. It's an emergency. The word itself, emergency, tells you that you require that particular thing to be able to see your way out of the building or within the premises. Let's homes. How do we get out? Sometimes those who are trained in firefighting will be drawing their legs step by step. You don't go normal walking. Locate a wall on the wall next door. But the emergency lights are supposed to perform those functions. But it depends on the design and the type of emergency lights you will have. Some will be operated by battery, like the normal torchlight that in case you go and pick it, have to be operated by electricity or by sensor. It depends on the kind of design and the people who are going to use that particular area. If the building will have to be used by...
Sorry, I'll get back to you shortly. But I want our viewers to note that we have...
In the daytime, you can see your way out within the building.
So the honeycomb to
designs that are like
designs that we have where you have some to light all throughout.
Yes. So light can
That's
throw
what is honeycomb.
honeycomb.
We are learning on the show.
So that one it from way, so you can have total what do you call it? Roots. People fear design in such a way that it's total block work. It's like a shaft, and that one when there's no stair, it will also not. So you must be able to see where you stand and how you use the staircase, and be able to know which direction you have to travel. As we explained last week, you will see that we said the exit signs also have inbuilt batteries that directs signs. So you can have a combination of emergency light and then what do you call it, exit sign in the same area. The light will illuminate the direction sign for you to be able to get.
So a unit of both designs put together
can be in the same area.
Oh, okay.
Some can, but it's normally not advisable to put the exit in the same guide you. As I said, it's like a torchlight that will show you your steps and staircase and corridors to use, so that you don't go and hit your leg against anything there. So if I come to your hotel and I'm not familiar with the arrangements in the place, your chairs are put in such a way that I can hit myself, in the long run I'll end up suing you. So I have to provide
enough to just put the directional signs there, because certain conditions within the building may make it impossible for somebody to even use the signs, because the person may not be able to see. So as a feather aid or complement to the directional signs, you need some illumination, some light to help you make your way out of a troubled building, if I must say, an emergency, when emergency strikes. So we've just gotten the sir, can we please have the emergency light on the screen? We are coming to know what it is. Sir, kindly help us with this thing that we are seeing. It's just a drawing,
Okay, thank you.
Yes, sir.
When it comes to emergency lights, location also is a factor. So what you see here now is an open space where you have the emergency light fixed or installed. We have other one that will be installed at the entrances, where Deputy just mentioned. You have the sign under the lightning. The sign should not be at the top of the lightning if it's on the wall.
The sign should not be at the top,
but it should be under it, beneath the emergency light, so that people who are far away can easily see the entrance, can easily see the exit directional sign.
You so mean the one unit the one that is in one unit?
No, not the one unit.
Okay.
You have two separate components, but installed at one point.
Okay.
One is to give lightning, two to give direction. So the light should be at the top and the sign should be beneath the lights. Then you also need emergency along the escape routes. Those ones should come without the sign on it. I get it. Then these emergency lights also are supposed to be installed in escape routes where there is a change in direction. You are traveling. So once you want to turn, there should be a lighting system. Then if there is a step in terms of gradients, you need to also provide these emergency lights. Then for high-rise buildings and other things, aside the escape routes and then the emergency exits, you also need these emergency lights at the technical area, especially in the how do you call it, the mechanical, where you have your meters and other control boards, switch gears, changeover in that room, you need emergency light.
Why,
in addition to the light.
Why that place in particular? Is there any particular reason?
See, during the emergency, the power supply to the facility will go off. So there's a need for the technical team to work on these things. So they need emergency light to help them fix the trouble.
Okay.
So these are areas that we need emergency lighting systems.
Wow. So viewers, whether you're watching us live on Fire Service TV or on Facebook, I'm sure you have seen the projection of the emergency light. This is what we are talking about, and we are learning that these lights are provided as a backup or a further, step to ensure that you are safe. After you know where you would pass, your path should be well illuminated so that you don't go off it, because you can imagine a situation where there's an emergency, the light goes off. I mean, electricity, normal ECG goes out, and then you don't know where to pass, even though there may be signs displayed. So this light comes in to make sure that you are able to trace your route to safety. Yes, sir. You may add, sir.
You see, when there is fire, there's likely to be smoke. So that area will be smoke filled. When it's smoke filled, you find it visibility becomes impaired. You cannot see far. So with this light, it will give you an indication that this is it. You will see, you'll be able to see and see the door and get out of the place. Are you getting me?
Yes, sir.
Now, if there's no emergency light and there's thick smoke and you hit your head against a wall, that is the end of you.
Yes, sir.
The fire will come and consume you. So as he said, it depends on the area. So you look at the activity there, the facility, and who has to operate. We talked about mechanical room. You know, in some buildings, these days we have the unit air conditions. But when steps, the dot floor, when there's a fire, to shut, not pass floors. Light must be there for the person to do that operation.
Okay.
Are you getting me?
Yes, sir.
Now, apart from that, the firefighter who also enters the building will need the emergency light.
I was because I'm a firefighter. Firefighters also need this light to.
They are going foot. We all kindness will make the stairs that you will not go more than 10 steps, 7 steps to get to another land. The design. There's a design. Then they from the thread.
It's really big.
The user of the place should not get hurt. Should not get hurt. This is a third-party liability issue. So everything that relates to the third party who get wounded on your premises must be taken care of. You shouldn't think that he's a firefighter, so therefore if he wounds the government, no.
Yes, sir.
You can go further than that.
Thank you very much, sir. Diwafo, so what kinds of buildings? Is it my single room self-contained or maybe chamber and hall? What kind of buildings would require this kind of system?
I would say that emergency lights is taken there. Or with a portable one in your home, the strategy of emergency, and then that will maybe work. Then it will help offices, battery, electrical charge time, and that one, it is power battery, which for 3 hours for you backup.
And there's a built-in battery. I was going to ask you, it's not the same electricity that will go off because this light will come off. So, but charge with electricity. Okay. Cut. Operate.
Let me explain it. The electric, once you light does not, it's easy.
Okay.
I have light. Power supply. And then you leave the building.
So let me just add that to that would then take me to the types.
Okay.
What are the types of emergency lighting systems we have?
In general, we have two types. Those that are fixed and those are portable.
So will my normal...
So what we showed, the one you showed is the fixed one. The portable one are the handy ones that you charge and then.
So the chargeable lamp that we buy, they are all can be used for such purposes.
Yes.
But obviously we can't use the chargeable lamp at maybe an industrial setting. You need this one.
You need this one. Some also use the portable one as a backup.
As a backup.
Yeah.
But these chargeable ones, are they not put on by yourself? Put on by yourself, like if you want to. If there's like, you would have to put it by yourself. And if an emergency light has to come on, it has to be something automatic. Because whoever is going to, if they are, for instance, on corridors and maybe somebody might be in the office, there's an emergency, the person might need to come out. The person who is coming out is not even seeing the...
Let me explain it. Before you do these things, there's a need to also have a risk profile of the building.
Very well.
So the risk profile will inform the safety of that. So there's no more emergency light that needs to be installed in there. But for domestic, it is about the travel distance. Maybe it will be about 10 meters maximum. And in your room, it should be about 5 meters diagonally. And you can easily pick those portable ones and then use them as and when the emergency strikes. But for industrial or offices, high-rise buildings, these are installed. They are not movable. They are fixed. It's part of the car wiring system.
Very well. Sir, you may want to add something?
What I want to ask is the source of power, as he said, electrical. Some also may use sensors.
Okay.
Currently, in some buildings, you enter the room and the normal light comes on. But they are not designated as emergency lights. They are designed to control the use of power within those areas.
Okay.
So when you enter a place and the light comes on, it is run, as he said. He explained that when there is emergency light, it does not come on when the power is operating. Are you right? Yeah.
Yes.
But this one, it has the power in. So the moment you enter that area and your shadow falls on whatever sensor is in the area, the light will come off. The moment you leave that area, the light will go off. But with the emergency light, it has to be there 3 hours continuously when it's switched on. So people should not confuse.
Yes. The ones that are sensor operated are not emergency lights.
They are not seen as emergency lights. So people should not confuse those kind of lighting system and think that they have emergency lights in their house. When it comes to fire technical issues, the moment an emergency light comes on, you should be able to stand for 2-3 hours. If the battery has a charger, it must be able to withstand that period. Are you getting me?
Yes, please.
But as we said, it is important that all houses should have this emergency light. Even the offices, when you go to the gatehouse, you see the watchmen, they have torchlights.
Yes.
Are you getting me?
Yes.
So it depends on the design and the issue of the place. That determines which kind of thing that you have to put in. So it's critical. Both commercial, which is like this fixed system, must be there. But when it comes to your home, you can have the portable one to use. But don't fall on your sensor as
emergency light. It is not.
Emergency light.
Don't be deceived. And
He said that they're using it for energy efficiency.
And
so
for explanation purposes, if the sensor type that is talking about is, you know, sometimes when you are entering certain offices, the moment you get close to the gate, you see the gate opens out for you. He's saying that some lights are also designed like that, but they are not emergency lights. So please, they are not. They are two different things that we are talking about. So, then underground, people who work underground, as for their lights, has to be really serious. So, you know, there are certain offices that are down below. Such places are usually dark. Basements.
You see, before such system are put in place, you have the technical team, that is the MNE, the mechanical engineers and electrical engineers. They will be they will be doing a lot of calculation to find out how many emergency lighting systems they will need. So those calculations will be done, and then they will install them. So underground, you need them. You need them. And then you also add on the exit signs. And some, I don't know if you've mentioned it, but underground, the signage is upward.
Yes.
You see, it's upward. And so once you see the lightning coming up, and you have the sign, it's telling you up that you need to
climb
go
up.
Climb up.
Your way to safety is not down.
Down.
It is up.
So if you are on the first floor, the arrow should point downwards. So the reference point is the ground floor for you to exit out of the building.
So like you said, we have what we call in some basements, sub-basements, and deeper basements.
There are sub-basements and deeper basements. We are interested, though. I've told you, me and my viewers, we are interested in all the small
Is it
Levels of
construction?
Okay, yes, sir.
You see, when you go to the Accra, the one commercial bank, no, Stanchart, the car park, you will see that there's halfway opened and the halfway has block work. So if you have something underground like that and half of before the ground floor is opened, then you call this sub-basement. You have the basement, but there's a space in there. That one, another form, throws light into that particular area. So the amount of emergency light put in there will not be as total block.
Just like the honeycomb situation we described,
Okay.
the design blocks.
So it depends how, how dark the place is going to be. You cannot avoid an emergency light. You must have it. You must have it. That is.
Viewers, we are learning on this show that if you didn't know before, then you should know that whatever commercial entity you are operating, the person who comes to buy from you or who comes to do business from you, at that point in time, whilst he or she is in your building or in your establishment, is your responsibility. Which means that you have to take steps to make sure that should there be an emergency, the person is able to go out or walk out from that building to safety alive. The Ghana National Fire Service is your partner in this agenda. And so we have put in place measures to make sure that your building is safe for yourself, your workers or your employees, and even your clients. We have heard on this show that you can even be sued should anything happen to a third party within your building. So let's not concentrate on our businesses alone. Let's also make sure that we are keeping ourselves, our properties, and the people who come to patronize us safe. That's the way to go. Ghana National Fire Service is your partner in this agenda. If you have any questions, if you have any suggestions, if there's something you would want us to throw more light on, don't hesitate to contact the Ghana National Fire Service. This is Safety Matters, and you are live on Fire Service TV. We are also live on all our social media platforms. It has been interesting so far. You don't want to go anywhere. Stay with us. We'll take a short commercial break. We'll be right back. Thank you very much for staying with us. You are still live on Fire Service TV. This is Safety Matters. We come your way every Tuesday from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. And we are happy that you are joining us today as well. We are live on all our social media platforms. We encourage you to join us with your comments on these platforms. We have been reading them out. Is there something you want to ask us? Is there something you don't understand? Is there any contribution you want to make, suggestions? We are here for you. So don't hesitate to join us with your questions and suggestions. You can also join us on 050-960-8744. You can call us on 050-960-8744. 050-960-8744. And we'll be glad to take your comments. It's Safety Matters on Fire Service TV, and I've been in the studios with DCFO retired Kwame Kwarteng and DO1 Sam Afo. We've been talking about emergency lighting systems and how they help us to get to safety. So, somebody might ask that, fire situations, a fire situation is one of the emergency situations we can have. And please, we are not only talking about fire situations. When we say emergency situation, we are talking about a whole lot of situations. But fire situations is one of them. Somebody would ask, if there's a fire in the building, fire is light. Why would I need an emergency light to come out? So what would you say to such people? Maybe it's even myself.
Thank you. Initially, I explained that fire starts with smoke. If you stay in a building which is stuffed with smoke for 10 minutes, you are going to die. The fire will come and consume you.
Wow.
You will suffocate and fire will come and consume you. So fire itself will not come like an explosion, boom, to come and take you. It's the smoke that knocks you down.
And when you can't do anything. Then you lie there for the fire to come
you
and
wait
consume
for your destroyer. I get him.
Yes,
So in a big fire situation, we don't expect anybody to be in a place.
And that most of the reasons why we are doing this is that people waste or spend all the time trying to locate, say, exits.
Yes.
Emergency exits.
Yes.
And you could know, as a regular occupant of that building, you may know your way. How about somebody who is just coming to transact some business and the person goes away?
That is why you need somebody to guide. There are some buildings in such a way that when there's a fire outbreak, there's there's an announcer, public address system. Okay. That those on this floor within this use this emergency exit. Go through this, go through that, go through this. I know Director Investigation will know more about how the behavior of people in fire situations are quite different. Some will see smoke and they cannot control, they will go under beds. Yes. Some will struggle and come close to way. So when you're a firefighter and you're getting into a building, then you must begin to know where the people are likely to be. If they tell somebody it's
for rescue purposes.
For rescue purposes. So normally when we go to fire and you see people bent, you see them around door areas, under tables, washrooms, and those things, because they didn't have any means to get out because other smoke was too thick.
So they thought they could hide there.
They don't know where they are going because there's nothing to guide them. But when you have the emergency light, as I explained, even though in intense fire, the emergency light will be consumed by the fire itself. But at least for a period of 1 to 2 hours before the fire gets intense, you would have gotten out of the building.
Okay. So early exit.
Exit is our concern. You should
there's a word that I want to use, but because we'll be coming to that, so
let me comment about the smoke.
Yes, sir.
Environment. In a smoke environment, it has been studied and then found that within 3 feet or 1 meter from the ground, at that level, you can get some oxygen that will aid you in a fire situation. So there's a need for you to go down and crawl out of the building. If you fail to do that, what is going to happen to you is that, your blood that flows through the body, it is being facilitated by oxygen. So once you inhale the carbon monoxide, it reacts with the oxygen and it takes part of the CO2. So meaning that you will not have enough blood that will run through, and that will knock you down.
Sometimes when I'm talking to my panelists,
yes,
I wonder if I'm talking to firefighters or scientists.
So they are firefighters. So these are the conditions.
Yes. Sometimes I wonder if I'm talking to firefighters
so
or
hemoglobin
scientists.
will have an effect, and that will affect you.
Wow.
So
it's all firefighting, no?
yes.
My viewers, they are all firefighters. They are not scientists.
Yes,
if
they
you
are
want
not.
to be a good firefighter, you should be science biased. My boss will always say. So we are not just like that. We know small. Let me blow our own horn small. Very important. Very important. Sir, thank you very much. So far, we've been looking at emergency lighting. However, I'm sure this emergency lighting and everything is embedded in the bosom of one thing: evacuation. Evacuation. So what is evacuation? When we say evacuation, what do we mean by that? It's a big word, though. Just break it down for me small.
It's good, but break it into evacuate.
Evacuate.
then yes.
When we say evacuate first,
Leave safely from an area. So you are fine. You are getting out of the building that is on fire.
not just leave, safely.
Safely out.
That's the watchword.
Yes. Safely out of the place of danger, which is where the fire is. So, if I'm in this room, I should be able to get out of this room if the fire is here, or the fire is on the corridor. I should be able to get my way out and find a route that will be alternative for me to get safely out of the danger area, which is the fire.
Yeah.
So it means that every way you can get, let me give you this analogy. It might be a joke, but when you see those of us who stayed in the village before, we have these kusie hunting strategies. You see this area as where the rat is. Kusie is rat, eh?
Yes, sir.
Rat is. But he has an alternative route.
Yes.
That's an escape, but that is his evacuation plan. Yes. He has a plan that if smoke is coming into this hole, even they.
So that's a good one. No?
I'm telling you.
Even a rat
has a plan. That when I'm being pushed to a corner, where do I pass and go out?
Wow.
So he has a strategy as to an evacuation plan, and then his emergency exit. So he plans with alternatives.
So those I remember as you dig the hole,
Yes.
then you put some fire there so that you can catch it there.
Yes. So if you want to trap it, then it means you must be able to locate all those holes, else before you finish, he's gone. So it means they have a plan. So that is where we call evacuation. How am I going to get out? My enemy at the time of fire, at the time of the incident, is the fire, and I'm getting out of the place. It's not only for fire issues. You can have an issue of maybe a bomb threat or terrorist attack, and there's a plan that if this happens, what do we do? You go to most of these multinational schools and these things, they have not only fire evacuation plan, they have a terrorist evacuation plan. They have all kinds of plans.
Terrorist evacuation plan.
Terrorism.
Terrorism. Okay,
Yes.
terrorist
Sorry
evacuation plan.
So they have all these plans in all these things as an emergency plan.
Okay.
If somebody is coming with maybe a bulldozer or a bomb threat or something, they have this kind of blockades or these things that they use in the roadsides. They buy, no, not the combs. They have something like a pillar that blocks you, that it blocks the road.
Okay. Automatically.
Yes, no, it doesn't block it. It's not automatic. They put it as a pillar, so cars cannot run into this.
Oh, okay.
I hope you understand. They have all kinds of plans. So you must have a plan as to get out when there's fire.
And that is what we call evacuation plan.
Evacuation plan. So, for instance, if you have a house and you have put barrier streets all over, in case of fire,
you don't have any plan.
And you have only one exit through your hall. There's no kitchen. If you have a kitchen, most kitchens have an external door. That is an emergency exit as well as your evacuation route. If the fire is in the kitchen, you don't pass there. You use the hall. So at least you must plan all these things on the drawing or your house, as well as any facility that is going to be used by the public.
As the accounts will say, Papa no so as you build your house, as
you must find a way to get that.
Think about on a rainy day, what will I do? And in terms of safety, we are talking about evacuation.
That is why we always advise that don't put barrier street, what do you call it, burglar proof behind your.
At least even if you must use collapsible ones.
Collapsible ones. So at least you have a plan that if in my house I have the burglar proof, but then I have the net side. I have a padlock with this thing there. So in case of emergency, I'm able to open that and push it and get out of, which you can do easily. Just plan. It should be known to you alone. But this does not mean people should come to my house anyway.
I think we've seen some of the failures on the part of us as individuals, families, and all organizations. In some happenings in the past, a whole family can just. Yeah. It's sad. I don't even know how to say it, but I have to say it on the show. Yes, perish out of our outbreak just because they failed one way or the other, or they did not consider one way or the other these things when they were putting up the building. Say, what do? We have different setups. You go and rent somebody's house, and then you are staying in it. The house is already built before you came to rent. What do? What plans should we put in place? The various buildings that we have, what should we do, sir? Sir, please help us.
Thank you. As the teacher said, when it comes to evacuation or evacuation plan, it starts from the designing stage. Evil burden.
We are going back to fire permit.
We are not going there, but you see, it's part of it. You see, for two-bedroom apartment, as you just mentioned, you need at least 2 exits. Okay. One through the kitchen, the other one through the main hall. So, if the fire happens in the hall...
Sir, please say that again. For
every building.
Every building.
At least you
single
need...
Single room. Even if it's a single room, you need 2 exits. Somebody will say that mine is a single room.
Let me explain.
So we need to establish that.
Yes, you see, ideally, you need to have those exits. But because some artisans or property owners did not consult, they have just 1 exit for maybe a 2 bedrooms. But ideally, if you go to a professional, an architect, he knows that at least you need 2 exits minimum. 1 through the main hall, and then the other as a kitchen. The kitchen serves 2 purposes. Maybe you want to do some cooking outside the kitchen, so you can use the same exits as a means of easing your cooking activity.
So let me just push this one in before you continue. Yeah. The exits that we are talking about, does it have to be full-blown doors, 2 doors?
Yes, when we talk about exit, we are talking about doors. Which you can go through. Windows are not part. In the difficult situation, you can access the window.
Windows are not designed as exits.
Yes.
Breaking news. Windows are not exits. However, in an emergency situation where you can't help it, if that is the only exit you can use, well, you can try.
It's the only opening
you can use. You can try. But windows are not designed as exits. Please continue.
There's another one that people think is an exit or emergency. Balconies are not to be used.
Balconies too.
The balconies can be used to stand and ask for help. But you cannot use balconies as an alternative to exit.
Okay.
Unless you are brave enough to jump from the floor you are onto the ground.
Then that's a serious one.
That is a serious emergency.
That's a serious one.
And that is why sometimes you have the hotels and they have the balconies and corridors in there. They are a place that you can stand and shout and ask for help. So when the firefighters come, then they can put in their ladder or TL to rescue you from that. So in effect, like a refuge form. But it depends on the design. Yes, it depends on the design. If you have doors and windows into the place which are not fire resistant, your standing there is useless. Are you getting me? So like you talked about a single room. That is what you can afford. And that is what the person has provided. So what do? The best thing for you to do to get out of the single room is to provide a smoke detector. You are living, you see, you must look at your situation. Situation will determine how can I get out of this place.
Fire protection.
Yes. So you have a single door. You have no alternative. So early warning is your major priority. But here you go, he will stop the whole place, TV, fridge, here, cooking, everything.
We even block the only one exit that we have.
You see, he doesn't think of that.
Yes, sir.
So you can live in a single room with at least some safety measure to get you out.
In addition to the sensor or the smoke detector,
Yes, sir.
what you need to do is your key. Never remove your key anytime you lock your final exit door.
Today we are receiving.
Are you getting it?
Never remove your key anytime you lock your door.
Leave it there and turn it. One is serve as a security.
That's all.
The thief cannot use a spare key to access because the key will not have that. Yes. But in emergency situation where you have the key, it's a matter of you turning it and then you go out. But most people that perish in fire situation, most of them cannot find their keys.
Yeah.
They cannot find their keys. It is locked and then they drop it. In emergency, you'll be panicking and you can't access. But if you have your key in there, you get to the exit and then you turn it. What it means is that the main door key should be in the kitchen. The out door should also have the key intact there. Don't remove it. It's a means of helping you to move out of the burden in terms of emergencies. So these
so as you explained, you can have a single room, all right, but you must take care of how do I get out early. It's a smoke detector. So if you have it there, it will alarm you. Then you will be able to get out and open the door and go out. Now, it could be in a corridor where you don't want the fire also to get onto the corridor. So you want to have a fire door. But this fire resistant door. That does not mean that it's fireproof. There's nothing like fireproof door. I stand, but I'm telling you,
like
fireproof door. It will go. It's a resistant for about 30 to 1 hour to contain the fire for the Almighty Fire Service to come and help you.
Okay.
So if you see the adverts,
it means that your way out of safety is
should have a fire resisting construction.
On time.
Yes.
It is time that would. Time is one sure way. How much time do you have? How much more time are you spending in the building after the emergency started?
That is the critical. So that is why that's why you do block work. Those are about 1 hour before they give in. It will take about 45 to 1 hour to give in. So when the investigators go to fire ground and they see the block that has shaft with what you can say the block has been eaten in, then he will tell you there's intense heat in this area. The fire has been there for more than 4 hours. And then they begin to trace reconstruction. I'm coming to. I'm talking about safety that relates to. You are asking that how long does. But if the fire is about 30 minutes and you go and the wall is broken and the door is open and those things, then there was no fire safety precaution. It is the duty of the fire inspector who is reviewing the drawings to be asking those questions.
Okay.
So they will give you the window and the door shut off, and you can see whether this is a hard door or a flash door. Yes. You can see all those things.
To add to what the deputy just said,
interesting.
In terms of the evacuation, we look at the time, we look at the construction of the wall, and then the travel distances.
Yeah.
The construction, the type of material that you use, if it has fire-resistant properties, for how long, your travel distance. These are the things that you need to factor, go into it before approval is given when it comes to fire plan, permitting, and other things. So we need to look at occupancy, we look at the capacity of the building, all those things come to play before a permit is issued. So what our advice is that our clients should, or Ghanaians should come to us anytime they want to put up a building for input from us, so that at least they can build a structure which is safe for life.
So this is even a mandate. It's LI 17.
Yes, it's a mandate. I agree, but sometimes you need to.
So we
educate
are
them.
advising you, we are educating you, but also know that our call is backed by law, and also you should know that it's for your safety. We are not doing this for ourselves. We are doing it for all of us. For all of us, it is our expectation. It will be our joy that all of us are safe in this country. And the Ghana National Fire Service is mandated to ensure that you are safe. That is why this program has been designed for you. Safety Matters is the program, and you are live on Fire Service TV. We have in the studios our very important guest, DCFO retired, Kwame Kwarteng, Director in the Ghana National Fire Service. And then we also have DO1, Sam Afo. He is Director Investigation. So I am telling you that we have very strong people in the studios. What they are telling you is from experience and every aspect of life. Thank you very much for joining us. We are discussing evacuation. We have discussed just a few minutes ago. We discussed emergency lighting, and we got to know a number of things. That emergency lighting is very important as a backup to your signs that you may see in the building. You need to find your way to safety, and during an emergency, the places are often dark because electricity goes off, and this emergency lighting comes on automatically. It will stay on for at least 3 hours for you to exit the troubled building or the emergency building before it goes off. So take note of all of these things because they are for your safety. We have been discussing emergency lighting and evacuation, and all too soon we are getting to the end. So we'd want to take final words or concluding words on this subject from our distinguished guests in the studio. Sir,
yes,
can you please give us your concluding remarks?
I want to give everybody an assignment.
Very important. let me write mine.
Yes, try to leave your bedroom without briefing and do 40 steps and see where you end.
Sir, please say that again.
Start from your bedroom, the corner of your bedroom. Walk 40 steps,
40
normal
steps.
40 steps without breathing, and see where you will get to. Whether you get close to your door or you get close to the main, what do you call it?
Exit.
Main exit. If you're able to do that, then it means in a fire situation, you can escape.
Otherwise,
you're in trouble.
You will struggle.
You remember that principle? That is the assignment I'm giving to
I think it's simple. All of us can do it.
Try that as assignment.
No, don't worry. If you do it and you don't get the desired result,
that
we can
means-
help
that-
you.
That means you're in trouble.
You need help,
Yes,
and we are here to help you.
you
So
to do that.
we'll be taking
Using that
feedbacks from
exercise.
you next week when we come,
back.
so that we can understand the nature of your safety issue. Then we can help you out.
Yes.
Thank you very much, sir, on that. Sir, can you please give us your final remarks?
Yes, my final word is that Ghanaians should see us as partners in safety, and therefore they should consult us and when they have difficulties, especially when the time they want to put up a building, they should consult fire service first before putting up the structure, so that we can give them inputs that will help them and also save life.
Thank you very much, sir. I'm sure if you have joined us on this show, you understand why we are saying you should do all these things. We want to emphasize that they are all for your safety, and that is what the Ghana National Fire Service stands for. So kindly don't sit on the fence. Come out and tell us what your concerns are. We are here to help you. On this show today, you heard that a window is not designed for us as an emergency exit. Your balcony is not designed as an emergency exit. It's a place you can stand temporarily just to call for help. And also, emergency lighting system is there to help you exit your building should there be an emergency. There has been safety matters on Fire Service TV, and we have come live with this important information to you. Thank you very much for joining us. We hope to see you next week as we discuss other aspects of this topic. I am ADO1 Joanna J. Let's see next week. Thank you very much.